everyone. This week we're going to read Scooby-Doo and the Pirate Treasure. The reason I picked this book is because I am a huge Scooby-Doo fan. I love the movies. I used to watch this a lot when I was a kid, so I thought this would be a fun book. Scooby-Doo and the Pirate Treasure. Mystery Machine? Pirates Cove dead ahead. Slow down, Fred, said Daphne. We're nearly there. The sign says, Pirates Cove dead ahead. Even the sign sounds haunted, muttered Shaggy. Scooby-Doo shook under the back seat of the Mystery Machine. Shaggy, Velma giggled, you don't really believe that the ghost of Captain Bones has come back for his long-lost pirate treasure? That's just a silly story. If it's not Captain Bones scaring folks away, then who is it? Asked Shaggy. That's what we're here to find out, said Fred, parking on the beach, after we unload the food. At the thought of a cookout, Shaggy cheered up and Scooby came out of hiding. The gang quickly built a cherry campfire. Then Fred said, Come on, Shaggy, we've got time for a quick look around before dark. Reluctantly, Shaggy followed Fred and Scooby followed Shaggy. A little way down the beach, they stopped to look at a tumble-down shack. A for sale sign hung up on the door. Who'd buy this spooky house? Asked Shaggy. Captain Bones, maybe, Fred chuckled. Suddenly, something swooped down towards Shaggy and Scoob. It's only a bat, Fred yelled, but he was too late. They were already running to the van. The two of them dived under the back seat and stayed there until the smell of grilling hamburgers brought them out. Much later, after seconds, thirds, and fourths, they began to feel better. Scoob was snoozing behind the dying campfire, and Shaggy was telling a ghost story, when suddenly a wild, rough voice roared out of the darkness. Walk that plank, me hearties, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of pop. Shaggy pointed at a shadowy figure beyond the firelight. Yeah, look at that! Scooby saw the ghost and ran howling to the car. Fred, Shaggy, Daphne, and Velma jumped to their feet. Don't let him get away, Fred yelled. Shaggy's teeth started to chatter. Look at that, Fred pointed to the sand. Footprints. No ghost ever leaves footprints. Come on, we'll go after him in the van. Scoob and I'll stay here and guard the clues, Shaggy said. As Fred and the girls drove off, Scooby seemed intent on a search of his own. Have another hamburger, Scoob? Said Shaggy, helping himself, but Scooby was too busy digging in the sand. Shaggy grinned. What have you got there, Captain Bones' pirate's treasure? Ruff! Scooby gave a bark of triumph, and up he came with a treasure of his own, a bone that he had buried last summer. Shaggy kicked at the hole. Ouch! His toe hit something in the sand. Look, Scoob, he exclaimed. It's an old sea chest. Scooby dropped his bone to help Shaggy dig. Finally, they uncovered the lid of the chest, and Shaggy wrenched it open. It is Captain Bones' treasure, he yelled. The chest full of gold coins gleamed in the oncoming headlights of the Mystery Machine, and the very first person to get out of the van was the mysterious pirate himself. Shaggy quickly shut the lid of the chest. Mum's the word, he whispered to Scooby. A few minutes later, the Mystery Inc. gang was sharing their cake with a very hungry pirate. Now, said Fred, tell us who you really are and why you've been scaring everybody away from Pirates Cove. Folks call me Captain Dan, said the ex-ghost. I've been a sailor all my life. When I got too old for sailoring, I just wanted to settle down by the sea, but I didn't have enough money. So you haunted that old beach shack by living in it, said Daphne. Captain Dan nodded. I figured the ghost of Captain Bones would keep folks away. Did you bury the captain's treasure too? Shaggy asked. What treasure? Asked Captain Dan. This treasure. Shaggy opened the chest. Captain Dan gasped. Why, there's enough gold there to buy 100 houses. Mystery Inc. shared a look. Captain Dan, Fred said, we want you to have a share of the treasure. If it hadn't been for you, this gold might never been found. Meanwhile, Velma thought of something that the gang could do with their share of the gold. The gang got busy, and all the rest of summer they took kids, ones who've never had a day of beach fun, to Pirates Cove in the Mystery Machine. They swam and surfed, they heard Captain Dan's exciting sea stories, and they ate delicious cookouts served by Mystery Inc. Best of all, each day when the sea chest was open, there were enough chocolate, doubloons, and licorice pieces of 8 in it for all the visitors at Pirates Cove. The end.